So after I finished the last Friday functions video, I decided to do a part 2. And the reason being is that in this case, we are kind of sort of, especially with users, with the user function, we are hard coding who can look at this by a display name. And you can imagine that if there's a lot of people, that would be tedious to configure. Then we did something better we did part 1. We also showed how to use the department profile to give the whole department access to a control for editing purposes. And so that was better because at least it covered a whole bunch of people in one single function. But I wanted to actually make this a little bit more dynamic. On this particular form, in this particular case, there is a assigned to party. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure the assigned to party is right under the status. So I'm just going to drag and drop it there. So now assigned to is directly under status, just for the sake of this configuration. Now, what if I say that this field is editable only for the person it's assigned to? That seems logical to me. So let me show you how I might do that. So up here, I would reference neither of those two functions, a user or Office 365 profile. I will actually, I will use user, but I don't need the Office 365. So I'm going to do user, if user full name equals, and now I'm going to reference the assigned to control here. So let's just look at what this is. I could also do this item. Let's try this item first. Full name equals this item dot assigned to, and this is a complex field, so I need to dig down into it to get the display name. Now, it can be confusing that display name doesn't look like full name. They look like different things. But in real life, they are actually the same thing, the full name and the display name. So what I'm saying here is if the current user's full name matches the assigned to party for this list item, then it should be edited. Now, this is going to be a whole lot more dynamic, right? So we go in here and you can see that I can see the editing here. But if this was a different person, if this was assigned to let's do Ryan. Let's see if I can change this here. Ryan Cunningham. Right? If it's assigned to him, I would have to save this, of course, in order for this to kick in. And this just has to do with the current item right now is still Audrey until I save. Now, a way around that would be to use the control. So let me just show you. And this is probably good for you to notice this little nuance here. If I use data card value 12, then this will happen even before I edit. So I'm going to do data card value 12. And then I will do selected here. And then I want the selected display name, okay? Because that is a drop down, so we need to use selected there. So in this case, as soon as I change this to Audrey, so right now I can't edit, right? Because it's Ryan. But if I change it to Audrey, which means I'm just going to type Audrey, and I know I'm the only Audrey at Microsoft, so I'm safe. Gordon, right? Now I can edit this control, right? So you see that subtle difference there between, the form responding to a control reference, which is right here live in runtime, versus the control referring to this item's current record, which is the last saved version. So I hope this helps you. I think these are really cool tips for how to manage, the people stuff that we want to do when we're customizing our forms and our apps. Have an awesome weekend. This was a great Friday Functions scenario. Bye-bye.